fitness expert and author Kathleen Trotter joins us now to help us get ready for the quickly approaching golf season. Moving already, of course. Now, how do we train for golf? Why is it important, first of all?
Well, first of all, it's really important to not have this mindset of, I will just wait and get in shape in whatever sport I'm doing. So if you play tennis or you are a runner, like the spring and the summer, they're coming, which is awesome. Yeah. But if you wait till then, you're going to get on the course, you're going to be stiff, you're going to be achy, you might injure yourself, but even if you don't injure yourself, you feel so frustrated because you're like, oh, I just can't do it, I don't feel as good. So the trick is now to match what you're doing at the gym to the biomechanics of whatever sport you're doing. So with golf, for example, you really need internal and external rotation of your thigh bones, right? And if you don't have that, then you're going to take it in your lower back and you're going to be like, oh man, I'm injured, that's the worst. Then you miss the golf season now, right?
Worst nightmare.
Worst nightmare, exactly. Okay, so that would be one example. If you're like, let's say you're a tennis player, then you'd want to do more lateral motions at the gym. If you're a runner, you want to do single leg stance. So basically think, okay, what does my sport need from me and how can I be training to do that? So I'm going to get you to sit on the chair.
Jump right into
just jump right into it. So one of the ways that you can test internal, external rotation is this 90-90 stretch. So if you don't want, if viewers are like, that's too much, I don't want to get down on the ground.
We'll just get you a little more over here, I think. Make sure that you can see your legs, which is so important.
Okay.
There we are.
Where am I going? Okay, so there we go.
Right next to me. There we are. We found it.
So I want you to cross one ankle over top of your thigh.
Okay.
Yeah. And you're going to try that on side to side, and you're going to see. And one side is going to be more flexible than the other. And so this is a great stretch. If you're willing to get down on the ground, what's really interesting to see is, so I have a lot more internal rotation on my right side and a lot of external. But if I try to do it on the other side, it's like that feels really stiff to me. So for me, I would want to spend more time in this position with my right leg at external and my left at internal, because that's going to help me when I'm loading up that swing, right? So in this position, what I would say is, if you try this, if golfers at home try this and they're like, oh, this is easy, this is hard, then every day, 30 seconds, hang out here, and you can do sort of like moving through the stretch. For you, if you're like, okay, one side's easier than the other, then, you know, at your desk, at work, you could try that. If they're both equally stiff, you know, spend 30 seconds in both.
Yes, this is great for even just at your desk or something like that, or even as you're watching television, you can sort of work on it even when you're not in the gym.
Exactly. Now, the other thing is you also need the internal rotation. So that seated chair doesn't give you that.
No.
But you could practice balance. You could have one leg up. So if you stand, and this would be, this is the external rotation, and this is the internal rotation. So you could add something like this to your warm up at the gym, right? So just getting that internal, external rotation. So important. And if you're like, no, I'm not going to stand around and do that. Okay, fine. Great one. Put your toe on the ground and just turn your thigh bone and keep your pelvis really still, because again, you need that when you're golfing, right? So that would be, you know, you're going to get water at work, going to get a coffee, waiting for the elevator. Just try to get that thigh bone. And the trick is your hips don't move and your thigh turns. Okay, so that's the first thing. Next thing, you need to be able to hinge without taking it in your lower back. And so many people, when they hinge, they either can't hinge, they round, or they really arch. So micro-bend your knees.
I'm guilty of the arching for sure.
Get a little bit of pelvic floor, lower abdominals, and you could just do a hinge as you're waiting for your coffee, and you could hold that for 30 seconds.
If you're
a little bit of a micro-bend.
Yeah. Okay, there we are.
Yeah, and then you use, so that's like a deadlift. So at the gym, you could be like, okay, I'm going to incorporate bent over rows into my routine, or a straight leg deadlift into my routine, right? And or even just simply, if you're watching TV, just practicing like a little hip hinge, or planking is great too, because you're keeping that neutral, right? Which is what you need when you're in the hinge, and you also get the core. My partner's a big golfer, and he was talking about how last night he was saying, yeah, it's amazing when I feel strong in my core, like everything just connects better.
All goes.
So take a seat on the chair.
Wonderful. More exercise. Again, you get my workout in, Kathleen.
Up and down.
Don't need to go to the gym after this.
Bring your butt a little bit forward in the chair. Okay, so people they're at home and they're like, well, I don't want to get down and off the ground when I'm at work, right? You could do a V-sit. So if you just hinge backwards and you hold for 30 seconds.
Oh, that gets the nice core going in there. I can feel that.
Exactly. So pepper throughout your day, a couple V-sits throughout the day, a couple figure fours, you know, a couple hip hinges. And then you're like, okay, but we haven't looked at the upper body. So that's the other thing, is you want to really
We have just a few more seconds left. Really fast.
Grab a band. Grab a band.
Grab a band.
You got to have that.
Oh, we're running out of time. Rotator cuff. We'll make sure we get all your socials online also. And so you can follow Always Workouts online and get yourself ready for golf.